So we all know Danny Ainge stepped down as the Boston Celtics general manager several weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about it here on the show because I didn't really get a chance to address it, last week. And what you have to know about Danny Ainge is he was the Boston Celtics general manager for 18 years, and he stepped down, but that was kind of a way of the Celtics, I think, really saying that he pretty much got fired. They said Danny Ainge has decided to step down, when in reality, he probably got fired. But again, a lot of people, spin it that way to, make things sound good, But ultimately, to me, it was time. Danny Ainge is a really good general manager, but I think the Boston Celtics hit their ceiling with him being the general manager of the team, okay? And they've been a viable playoff team nearly every single year. And look, you could do a whole lot worse than Danny Ainge. But the harsh reality is that Danny Ainge underachieved as general manager of the Boston Celtics. And change was needed. The Celtics are an historically elite and a well-run franchise. They've won 17 championships. The only team that's close to that is the Los Angeles Lakers, who've won 17 championships as well. And under Danny Ainge, during the 18 years he was there, Boston won one championship. And that was great, but it's not good enough. If you're the general manager of the Boston Celtics and you only win one championship during nearly a 2-decade period, that is not good enough. Now, if you're a general manager of the Mavericks, the Pistons, the Cavaliers, the Warriors, the Raptors, then yeah, I understand that. Because those are not franchises that are being held to the same standard as the Celtics. But I'm sorry, but what Danny Ainge did was not good enough with the Boston Celtics. It just wasn't. He was very good, but Danny Ainge was brought in to bring greatness to the Boston Celtics. And outside of one championship run where he traded for Kevin Garnett and he paired them up with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce, when Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce paired up together, a lot of disappointments, And has Danny Ainge had some bad luck? Yes. Kyrie Irving one time got hurt. Paul Pierce and Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett eventually got old. But the reality is Danny Ainge was just not aggressive enough. At one point, Danny Ainge had an opportunity to go out and get Anthony Davis. He failed to do so. Kevin Durant was a free agent. A lot of people thought Kevin Durant might go to the Boston Celtics. Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics did a poor job of recruiting Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant ends up going to the Brooklyn Nets. He had a chance to go get Kawhi Leonard. Failed to do so. Had a chance to go out there and get James Harden. He failed to do so. And the reality is Danny Ainge relied way too much on his draft picks. And you can get to a conference finals, homegrowing your players, having a team that's well coached, maybe with one superstar level player, that guy being Jason Tatum. You can get to a conference finals like the Celtics did last year. But Danny Ainge was all about assets. I need assets, draft picks. And it's ironic that he walks out the door without any high-end draft picks or assets. No high-end young players outside of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who you're probably not going to trade away, because if you trade one of those guys away, your team is pretty much a dumpster fire, And I don't know. I just think that Danny Ainge, he was really good for the Boston Celtics organization, but I think that ultimately he underachieved because he was very good, but he was brought in to be great for the Boston Celtics, and he fell short. Ultimately, that's how I feel. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.